envision the future, like next 5 years, 10 years, or even 15 years and so on, as an investor, it is important. Or are you a short time trader? That completely depends upon your psychology, right? Berkshire is one of the best or the first top investing firm in the world, right? In the traditional world. But now it is actually changing. It really is changing, right? The world has changed and the decision point is here. If you really want to get inside this new wealth transfer, you should take your decision right now. And this is where you take that supreme decision in your life to be either to be the part of this or not. And that decision will lead your way ahead. Now, what about the price drop we are seeing in the crypto land? When we look at the price, we understand it dropped a bit. What are we actually looking at? Is this something we were expecting, or are all of these interconnected? Answers for all of those is coming ahead. Stay focused. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support, you can use the Patreon, PayPal, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. Now, when you actually look at different aspects which are really happening as of now, you really have to look at all other stuff and ask yourself what really is happening. Now, that's for long term as an investor, but for short term, you would be looking at charts, right? And yes, that's where we are going first. And when we look at these charts, I would actually like to first highlight some aspects which I highlighted previously. See, this is one of the chart of Ethereum which I put out in my Patreon a couple of days back, say September 20th. You can see the date here, right? We actually were expecting a drop in price and then a bounce. So, if someone is looking to buy the dip, that was some area where you could actually have done that. And look at the price. What's it doing now? It looks something similar, right? Then for Bitcoin, on the same day, I put this one out too. So in order to complete that cup and handle pattern, which is, not horizontally, if you actually plot that, it's not that textbook pattern, but still we were actually expecting this price pattern to evolve in that manner. Now, short term, we are on a point with our re-entry targets, right? In our Patreon, we actually put this out for assets ranging from XRP, Ether, BTC, and silver in the other end of the investing asset class. And still, you'll see guys coming out and bashing TA and stating TA doesn't actually work. Okay, cool. It's up to them, right? No worries for me. But say, if you would like to know what it really means to understand the possibilities and to maximize your investments, take a look at the Patreon group, for which the link is given in the description below. So this is the chart of silver, and if you look at that, you will understand we put that out early in September, say 20 days back, and then at that time price was at 28.29. After some time, I actually put this one out, say stating after 10 days the price actually came back to 26. We were actually expecting that to happen, if you understand there. And then from here I was looking at a price drop again. Now this was on September 11th, and today when you actually look at that, what you can see is the price just dipped to the downside, and that's what really is happening. This is today. So those who were actually waiting for that buy re-entry position for silver would be kind of getting their orders kicked in. So that's kind of a positive news for those who are trading that market. Now, what about XRP in that term, right? This is XRP, and when you look at this, you can see long-term trend, short-term trend reversal pattern and all. So now in that general trend, if you are looking at this, the price broke to the downside, we came down, now we went retested that area again, which is the support resistance zone, and it failed and came back. Now that's on a shorter time frame. Say if you go on an hourly chart or a 4-hour chart, you'll see that scenario being played out. But when we look at daily chart, this is what we actually see. We broke above this long-term trend line resistance. Now that particular trend line resistance is acting as a support. Now we came back, retested that support once, again bounced, now coming back to that area again. So that's on a long-term view. Now if you look at this on a shorter time frame, meaning just looking last 6 to 8 months or even 1 year, you see this thing, right? A rounded bottom which is forming out and the price coming back to retest that bottom. So keep your eye on the price level around 0.23, 0.225. If it is holding and we are getting a bounce, it should take us much more ahead, because if you look at the trend in which we were bouncing, say from this area, the decline was a little bit like that rough, and as we reached till the middle, the decline was boom, sharp. Now as we go towards the other side, the rise in terms of price fluctuation is increasing in momentum. You can see that, right? How the price fluctuation is increasing. So if we are going to get a bounce, it should be something even better than this, right? So that's what the pattern speaks of. Now, yes, that is a possibility, and we as investors who are looking to take or maximize profit or take profits would be looking at possibilities, the odds to make profit, right? So this is the price in that level, and these two are, I just wanted to compare these two for you guys. Say this is what we are seeing in the chart as of now, and if you go back in time, say before last bull run, this is what you are able to see here. Say these were the pattern in 2017. Before that huge bull run, there was a long-term trend line resistance. We broke above that, we tested once, failed, then we broke above that. After breaking above that, we came back down. Now this is on a daily chart. If you have to actually see that clearly during that time of fluctuation, you'll need to go and zoom in, say 12-hour, 4-hour chart, depending upon how you view the charts. But the takeaway here is, after breaking that, we came below, we tested it once and then again once. So that's the second time before the final lift off. Now that's just a possibility which happened in the history previously. So are we really looking at the same thing here? It may happen, we can't say it may not happen, but the possibility for that is kind of 50-50, you can say. And if we are watching the same move which we are expecting here, what really will be playing out there is like breaking all of these levels of resistance. Now, yeah, that's red, so it's resistance. Don't get confused. Now, if that resistance is being kicked off and we are moving to the upside, we would be looking again for 100, 125% from this level, right? So that's 0.6. around 0.6, 0.7, and that will actually eliminate these price levels of overhead resistance. So that's the area where you get something like this, the fluctuation. People will be going in mad, FOMO will be kicking in, and it won't only be XRP doing that. There would be fluctuations in Ethereum, in Bitcoin, all because all of them are kind of making similar pattern, either rounded bottom, cup and handle, head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder, and preparing for a bull rally. So if you are to take profit, you should be watching these closely. Now, if you are a trader in which you have a crypto portfolio, you have Forex, you have different portfolios, you should be understanding that there are some correlations when you try to compare them on a weekly or even on a daily chart, looking at the close and the averages, right? So for silver and XRP, I personally see that correlation. But if I have to explain the same to you guys, I would have to take a lot more time to do the math, put that in perspective. But I think you guys actually get the clean idea if you just zoom out and look weekly chart of silver and just go into XRP chart and take a weekly chart of XRP. You kind of get an idea what I'm talking about the pattern itself. Now that's on the technical side. Now, I would actually like to take you guys towards the fundamental side, because we have some huge announcements. Say from BIS, we get this, and then from OCC, Brian Brooks actually stated this, which is giving more clarity for stable coins. Now, what does that actually mean? You actually have the letter in which we can go through, which gives a bit more clarity. And then, the SEC is kind of highlighting we are well equipped to regulate crypto assets. For me, that's a surprise. It's been 2 years after they stated BTC and ETH a clarity for them, after which it took 2 years for them, and they are saying we are well equipped. Well equipped for what is the real question. I don't think it's for crypto assets, it would be for something else. Now, that's just my perspective. Let it be. Anyway, we'll actually jump into different areas of this, right? So first, we are looking at the Berkshire manner. So the business model of Berkshire, how they intend to take that profit in long run, and how they achieved, and what it has to actually do with digital currencies in all together, while looking at the entire digital currency space. And then the portfolio of DCG, in which when you go to R, you get Ripple. Now, yes, it's just one among a lot of investments which you can see there. But what does they believe in? Is it the Ripple company? They are showing you enabling the internet of value. What is internet of value? If you have watched previous almost previous videos, you already understand that I showed you guys the documents in which it's not only Ripple, the company stating internet of value is XRP. There have been a lot others, right, from different reputable organizations towards BIS, IMF, and others too. Now, that being said, it's not just about one company, it's about the world. The world is changing in a manner in which crypto is being adopted by institutional guys now. And when institutional guys buys, they need huge buys, and these has to be custodied. And those are really turning out. Now that's one side of investing where it is changing towards the type of Berkshire. Now what I would like to highlight that with respect to XRP and Ripple the company is something like this. And that gets interesting as we move on and understand that it really needs something like this to solve these issues highlighted here, from BIS to Judy Shelton. Now, let's get into detail there. So, the way of Berkshire Hathaway, right? So, they looked at long term, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and understood which company would be thriving in the future. So, they actually went for Apple, Coca-Cola, Bank of America, other stuff as mentioned here. Now, as of now, if you are looking at the same type of investments, it's not about the Barry to Buffett, but it's about the digital assets. Now, why DCG? It's being previously stated that it kind of looks like Berkshire Hathaway's business model. And if you go into DCG, you understand they are expanding in different manners too. Why? Because they know what is coming ahead. And that's for the century of the blockchain revolution, the digital asset revolution, right? So while we are looking at those kind of stuff, we are also getting stuff like these. Say Bank of International Settlement highlights financial links between banks and non-bank financial institutions are concentrated in financial centers. Now that really has to be understood well. So let's jump into that itself. So when you go into BIS website, this is what you get. And in the summary type of key takeaways, when you come to the bottom, you kind of get this at the bottom. Vulnerabilities stemming from these growing interconnections were highlighted during the COVID-19 market turmoil. For example, in fickle dollar, funding from non-bank financial institutions, and liquidity pressures from high central counterparty margins. So these are stuff which the traditional market gives. If you are entering into a new market cycle for the financial market itself, looking to embrace the technology itself, which is really happening now, these kind of stuffs are being eliminated. And what are the total market just for this aspect between the banks and non-bank financial institutions? You can see this. Say cross-border claims on non-bank financial institutions such as investment funds, central counterparties, blah blah blah, has actually grown to 7.5 trillion in Q1 of 2020. So that is one of the important aspects where you need something other than dollar. Because now when you look at cross-border, it's not about that, right? Now, we actually went through in detail about Judy Shelton and her stand towards gold, dollar, and other stuff, but that kind of brings you something similar, right? They're talking about another currency which can bridge all of this. Now, I actually had a tweet here which I kept open, in which it kind of clearly shows. Now, shout out to Status for putting this one out, because these kind of tie in with all of what we were talking now. You need another asset, and here they really are stating in 5 years we might be using sterling, that's pound, versus Ripple XRP. Now that's huge, because instead of looking at pound sterling excuse me guys, instead of looking at pound sterling towards dollar or yen, they are looking at Ripple's XRP, and that is huge with the concept back then, 2018, and now it's 2020. So we just passed 2 years, and 2020 is gonna get over soon, right? So we are nearing a state where everyone would be looking at Ripple's XRP for bridging, meaning if they want to run from one to another in terms of geographical region and fiat currency based on their monetary policies, they would be needing a bridge asset, and that's where BIS, IMF and others are coming in with all of this. And we are not only seeing these issues being handled now by the US or other stuffs, we are looking around the globe, because this tweet from XRP Crypto Wolf highlights the overall broadening of crypto asset market would facilitate digital financial innovation. Now that really is increasing. If you look at the organizational structure which is being changed, if you look at the investments going in, if you look at the number of people who are being hired in this area, which is blockchain, DLT and all, you would really understand this is the Bank of America of next generation. This is the huge investment opportunity of this generation, and that's what Buffett actually saw. He understood the fundamentals. He was a value investor. So when you see value in an asset, that doesn't mean that the price of that asset should be sky high now, because if it is, that means the value is already reflecting in the price. Then as an investor, what do you actually get? Just the satisfaction that I'm investing in this? Are you in this for that? Personally, I'm not in this for that. Instead, I'm looking at an asset which has that huge value, like XRP. Then it should be at an area where I'm buying it cheap. Only then I make profit, right? I don't care about others when I say that. So that's why what I do is buy low and sell high, and I give the same narrative to my followers as well. Now, I'm not a big guy with 100,000 followers and all. I'm just nearing 10,000 followers here. Now, there may be majority of critiques, blah blah blah, my language, not a native English speaker, other stuffs, but I'm not here for doing English literature. Instead, I'm here for conveying information which is valuable for you guys, and that too stating it in a scientific manner using facts, let it be on a TA side or be in the fundamental side. Hope you guys are actually getting the point on which I'm coming, right? When all of this are happening, previously we were stating crypto is used for what? Illegal purpose, other stuffs, and now it turns out that no, it's the banks who are doing that with the dollars itself. And now when it is in such a manner, and along with all the other issues we stated previously, we are shifting the financial market. And as the financial market enter into this new era where the banks would be there, but investors would be going more onto crypto assets. So if you understand Berkshire, he actually went in a lot of US banks and banking institution, financial institution, as you can see here. But now it's towards crypto assets. So are you that guy who understands the future, next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or are you someone who's just there to make profit on a daily basis? That completely depends upon you. Now, I tried that daily basis thing previously 3 years back, and I told you guys what really happened, right? But when I changed my standpoint, now I know what I'm doing and what I'm expecting. Hope you guys receive value for your time, and if you did, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. If you would like to extend your support with an open heart, you can use PayPal, Patreon or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.